This is what vulnerability looks like. Is it something to be ashamed of? Deep down inside of you, sorry, I just had to show off my new kitty. Deep down inside, we are all vulnerable. And it would be my argument that the vulnerability inside is magic. It is beautiful. And it's where we need to go to find our essence. So why is everybody so ashamed of vulnerability? Why is vulnerability something that people try to hide from each other? Try to pretend that doesn't even exist? And in the end, why are you rejecting this most precious part of yourself? Deep down inside, there is an essence of you just as cute as that kitten, who is now making a bunch of noise, pushing a rock around the floor. Okay, cool. I don't know why a rock is there, but it is. You have an inner child. And to the degree that you are not emotionally healed and complete and all of that, a large part of that is because you are rejecting that inner child. You are rejecting that vulnerability. You are ashamed of the most adorable part of you. Hey, dude. You're ashamed of it. You try to hide it from people. You try to pretend like it doesn't exist. And yeah, it's cultural, whatever. It's something you've been taught. It's something you've been shamed into. But in the end, I'm asking everybody right now to make a philosophical decision. Even though the healing work, the inner transformation work might take a while. It might be a journey. It will be a journey for most people. But to make a decision that my vulnerability is the best part of me. My vulnerability is the truth. It's when you strip away all the bullshit of ego, all the adaptations of your personality, you get to that vulnerable place. And that vulnerable place got hurt a long time ago when you were a little kid. And on one level or another, you rejected it. You got ashamed of it. You felt inadequate. And you tried to adapt to a world that seemed less vulnerable than you. And you aspired to be less vulnerable than you really were. You saw these other people who had mutated and become zombies, and you decided to be like one of them, rather than be like one of you, which you might not have ever even taken the time to delve into what the hell that even means. You are vulnerable. And That's a good thing. All of the macho images of invulnerability are just ways to imagine something that we shouldn't even be desiring. Being invulnerable is not the panacea that your inner 6-year-old thought it was. Being invulnerable doesn't exist. Everybody is going to die. So therefore, they're not invulnerable. And when you quit rejecting your vulnerability and being ashamed of it, then you quit putting that on others mentally, emotionally, energetically. And when everybody celebrates each other's vulnerability and authenticity, then we will have achieved heaven on earth. Just imagine if everybody was nice to everybody else's vulnerability. If everybody saw the vulnerability of another as a beautiful thing rather than a shameful thing. Should that kitten be ashamed of his vulnerability? Should he feel that he needs to be good enough to earn his existence? If not, then why would you abuse yourself with those same rules? Why would you abuse anybody else with those rules? Your vulnerability is a portal to the divine within you. Celebrate it, love it, adore it, listen to it. When it wants to cry, let it. When it wants to laugh, let it. It's time that we embrace our vulnerability and quit shaming each other as if there was some mythical state of invulnerability that we could attain, and as if we could attain it, it would be a desirable thing. Because wrong and wrong doesn't work that way. If you'd like my help in achieving this ultimate state of loving your vulnerability, get in touch. andysway@yahoo.com or check out my website, andysway.com. Thanks for watching.